Salvete parentes. This video is for those of you who are unable to make it to the open house. This is Magistra Buddy. My name is Katrina Buddy, but the kids call me Magistra Buddy. Magistra just means teacher, and this is my presentation for Latin 2. So, quis est Magistra Buddy? I have my Bachelor of Arts in Classical Languages from Calvin College out in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I spent my senior year in Athens, Greece. I did some postgraduate work at San Francisco State University in classics, and I have my Master of Arts in Educational Technology. I've been teaching since 2001. I've taught in both private schools and public schools. One of the private schools I taught at was a high school out in the Oakland Hills of California, and it was a high school for kids with Asperger's and NLD. Currently, I am teaching part-time at Blake Middle School and at Edina High School, both places I am teaching Latin. Here's a little bit more about me, my personal life. My hobbies: I love to travel, I love reading, I love yard work, I love biking. I love all kinds of biking. My favorite, though, is downhill mountain biking, and as you can see, my family enjoys it as well, or at least they're good at faking it. All right, the course objectives, what you really came here for. We are here to learn about the ancient Roman roots of our culture and language. We're also here to communicate in Latin. I also have an objective of raising global awareness and learning about social justice through the looting of antiquities. This is a very passionate side interest of mine, and I try to work it into the curriculum as often as possible. Homework. I like to tell the students that I give them no homework, but the answer to that is really just a sorta. What I mean by no homework is that I will not hand out an assignment as the kids are walking out the door and say this is due tomorrow. And this is in large part because Latin is very difficult, and I can't rely on them being able to easily receive help at home. So what I need out of you is to make sure that the students do their memorizing. And when I say do their memorizing, I mean memorize their vocab and memorize their endings. That may not make a whole lot of sense unless you have studied Latin or another language that changes its endings. But a quick summary is just to say that English relies in large part on word order. We don't change the spelling of our words in order to indicate its function, but Latin does. So if you don't know your endings, you're not going to know what a word is doing in the sentence, even though you may have a basic understanding of what the word means. So if the students do their memorizing at home, watch the little recorded videos that I will post, and then we can put it all together at school. So those are their tools. The vocab and their ending charts are their tools. And oftentimes I will allow them to take work home if they didn't have a chance to finish it in class, even though they were on task and working hard. All right, so the grading categories. The 20% formative and 80% summative is something that is set by the department at the high school, by the World Languages Department. Also set by the World Languages Department are the regulations for each of those. So for formative, they are allowed to take them, to retake them, but for summative, they are not allowed to retake them. So what I am doing is trying to put as much as I can into the formative in hopes that they can the students will utilize the opportunity to retake them as many times as they need in order to master those skills before they get to the summative. So I know that the students are pretty stressed out when they hear this, that 80% is summative and it's basically just going to be translations. But my goal is to get them to the point where they can do those translations because they have mastered all of the skills in the formative section. So in the formative section, we will have memorization assessments. Those the vocab and the endings. I'll give them charts. They'll have to fill them out, or simple vocab quizzes. Application assessments, meaning I will give them a couple of sentences. They'll be able to show a quick demonstration of the skills in just a single sentence or a phrase. We will do projects, usually just 1 or 2 per semester. They need to demonstrate note-taking skills both in class and while watching flipped lessons at home. And then any other graded activity. All of these, except for the flipped lessons, can be redone as many times as they need to. The flipped lessons can't be redone because if they don't watch the flipped lesson on time, then they're not going to be able to participate in class the next day. So really that opportunity is missed. The summative. So this will be primarily a translation. There will be a couple of things that go along with it, like I'll ask them some questions about the grammar or some comprehension questions, but it is largely based on the translation. My availability. So my office hours are Thursdays and Fridays after school for a half an hour. I will either be in the Latin room or in my world language office. The students should know where both of those are, and they can come and see me anytime during that time. They can make an appointment. If students need some extra help, they want some time, they can just ask me to pull them in during flex hour. If you are noticing your students struggling at home, please reach out to me. Sometimes they will tell you that they are stressed out about something, and in the classroom everything seems to be just fine. So please reach out to me if you're seeing something that I'm not, and I can ask your student to come and see me during office hours, or I can pull your student in during flex hours and we can discuss what's going on and do some review and get some one-on-one, some individual help. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, and I look forward to working with you this year. Walete.